The Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution completely transformed the United States until it eventually grew into the largest economy in the world, and became the most powerful global superpower. Full-scale industrialization didn't occur in America until two textile manufacturers, Samuel Slater and Francis Cabot Lowell, introduced mechanized textile manufacturing to the United States in the late 1790s and early 1800s. By the 1890s, the United States surpassed Britain for first place in manufacturing output, and by the beginning of the 20th century per capita incomes in the United States were double that of Germany and France, and 50% higher than Britain. The economic expansion between 1815 and 1860 was reflected in changes in American society. In the northern cities, a small, wealthy percentage of the population controlled a large segment of the economy, while the working poor, whose numbers swelled by large-scale immigration, owned little or nothing. The legal position of women in the middle of the 19th century was essentially the same as it had been in the colonial period. Although New York gave married women control over their property in 1848, it was the only state to do so. Rather than contributing to the sustenance and economic welfare of their family, women were expected to create a clean and nurturing environment in the home, while their husbands became the sole breadwinners and dealt with the outside world. Women were having fewer children. Throughout the first half of the 19th century, the birth rate in the United States declined steadily, the drop sharper in the urban upper and middle classes. Southern free black people could not vote, hold office, or testify against whites in court. Most were laborers, although some were artisans, or farmers. The notable exception was New England. New York required blacks to own at least $250 worth of real property to vote, and New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Connecticut rescinded black suffrage in the early 19th century. In the northern cities, competition between blacks and immigrants, mainly the Irish, for low-wage, unskilled jobs created tensions that erupted in violence. A series of race riots occurred in Philadelphia between 1832 and 1849. American art in the 19th century. The Hudson River School, led by Thomas Cole, was influenced by Romanticism's concept of the sublime and naturalism's emphasis on precise observed detail. This movement depicted American scenes to evoke the limitless possibilities of the new nation. Luminism preferred intimate works that emphasized the individual's communion with nature, and believed that spiritual truth was in the contemplation of nature. Tonalism emphasized tonal harmonies, muted greens, blues, dark colors in landscapes. In music, Romanticism replaced the ideals of order, symmetry, and form espoused by the classicists of the late 18th century. It valued the natural world, idealized the life of the common man, and rebelled against social conventions. John Knowles Paine was the first American-born composer to achieve fame for large-scale orchestral music. His Mass Indi would give him a reputation that helped him to shape the musical infrastructure of the United States.